It may sound like a cliche, but is failure a given on the road to success? Our next guest sat down with 30 highly successful leaders in diverse fields like Warren Buffett, Michael Bloomberg, and Jeff Koons. And she is now sharing their secrets, including that achievement rarely is direct and easy. We welcome Gillian Zoe Seagal to Arise Xchange, author of Getting There, a book of mentors, joins us now. Gillian, welcome to Arise Xchange. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why do you call it a book of mentors? Why are these people like Warren Buffett, Kathy Ireland, why do you call them mentors?
Well, they're in a position to teach us, and I never really had a mentor, so I was so passionate about doing this, and I got to sit down and get the best of what each of these people had to offer.
And generally speaking, is there a common theme from what all of them bring?
There's a few common themes. Number one, they're all super passionate about what they're doing, and they say that if you're not, you'll never have the fuel.
You have to have the fire in your belly, don't you?
Yes. You have to be really ambitious and really resilient, but you have to be passionate about what you're doing to be resilient and to have that fuel. And they're also out-of-the-box thinkers. And they are not afraid to fail. They get right back up.
Yeah, and you have to be a little bit delusional, right? Because so many people are going to tell you that you're wrong, that you can't do something like this.
You have to be confident in what you're doing. And some of them even say to keep your idea a secret for the first while because of that.
Michael Bloomberg tells an interesting story. Wasn't particularly good in college and then decided to turn it around.
Yes, he says he was a straight C average until he decided he had to get into business school. Then he double loaded his courses and he got A's. So
Michael Weiner, we know him for his success with Mad Men.
Yes, Matthew
Weiner.
Weiner, yeah.
Weiner.
Yeah, he was, Mad Men was rejected all over Hollywood. It took him 7 years from the time he wrote it till he finally could get it on the screen.
That's what's really amazing, because it's you have to say to yourself you're going to commit as much time as needed to get your goals and not be afraid that you wasted all of this time. You have to have that inner confidence.
Yeah, and once again, if you're so into what you're doing, if you believe in it, then it's easier to do that.
One person on your list is Ian Schrager, and for anyone who grew up in the 70s in New York City, we remember Studio 54. Ian Schrager went to jail, but he is now one of the most successful hotel owners in the world.
Yeah, he was able to reinvent himself, and he actually talks about how humiliating and depressing this whole, escapade was. And he said that one of the things that really got him through his time in prison was reading stories about people who had gone through hard times and made it through that.
How quickly was he able to come out of prison and with focus turn things around and open up hotels?
It wasn't quick, because at first no one even wanted to lend him money. I mean, he had just come out of prison. But he says that whole debacle took him 10 years to recover from. It took 10 years out of his life.
How did you convince all of these really A-listers to sit down with you? Because I wonder if they were easygoing in sharing their advice, or were they hesitant?
Well, it was really difficult. It took me 5 years to do this book. And the hardest part was just getting these people to say yes to a no-name. So anyway, once I was with them, it wasn't...
And not a no-name. You've had some successful books.
I know, but I'm not Oprah or Katie Couric. So.
But I wonder if that helped here, honestly, because you have a fresh approach and you didn't have an agenda going in.
Well, it didn't help me get my foot in their office door. That is for sure. But I think maybe once I was there, I didn't show up with a crew. It was just me and a backpack. So it was a very relaxed atmosphere, and I think that comes across in the essays.
You have some great photos in here, too, which is a really nice addition to the book.
Yes, I took all the photos myself.
What is the sort of the lingering message, then, from this? What can people get out of the book?
I think that the best way to get inspiration is from other people, and I think it'll really, when you hear specific stories and you're going through a tough time, it's nice to recall a specific story. You hear, don't be afraid of failure, but what does that mean? If you hear a story about how someone failed, how they couldn't get out of bed, but then they did it, then that will really help you.
And because I remember I heard this thing from Danny Meyer, who created Shake Shack, same thing. A lot of failures, was going to go to law school and changed his mind. Did you find that here? People were going to go down one track and went down a different track?
Yes, that's another theme of the book, is that None of these people are rigid. They all are open to change, and they're always keeping their eyes open for new possibilities. If you're too rigid, then you'll miss out on a lot.
Okay, Gillian, it's good to see a successful Riverdalian. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Fellow successful Riverdalian. Time now for another look at the markets. The Dow closing up. The S&P 500, that's a record, but for the most part, the market's just treading water for the day. Legendary blues singer and guitarist B.B. King has died at the age of 89. The 15-time Grammy winner influenced countless musicians worldwide, released more than 50 albums, sold millions of records, was named by Rolling Stone magazine as the third best guitarist in history, and was also an accomplished pilot. We leave you now with one of his performances. I'm Andrew Schmertz. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, everybody.